Welcome to Facing South Florida. I'm Jim DeFede. School is starting up this week, and on Thursday, Ron DeSantis' education commissioner, Manny Diaz, was supposed to participate in a town hall and talk about the state's new standards for teaching African American history. He had agreed to come at the invitation of State Senator Shevrin Jones. Jones wanted Diaz to address concerns in the black community that the new standards were intended to whitewash history and downplay the evils of slavery, even suggesting that slaves benefited from slavery by learning certain skills. For his part, DeSantis has defended the new standards.
They're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
This prompted an angry response from Vice President Kamala Harris.
Adults know what slavery really involved. It involved rape. It involved torture. It involved taking a baby from their mother. How is it that anyone could suggest that in the midst of these atrocities, that there was any benefit to being subjected to this level of dehumanization?
So given this backdrop, you can imagine why some parents are upset and why Jones wanted Diaz to come and address the community directly. According to Jones, Manny Diaz canceled at the last minute, leaving 1,000 people who had gathered at the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church in Miami Gardens feeling disrespected and angry. In a post on X, the site formerly known as Twitter, Diaz wrote, "There was nothing sudden about my inability to attend Senator Jones's town hall. As I told the senator last week, I will be visiting schools throughout the state to welcome back students, parents, and teachers for the first day of school." Now, the event went on without Diaz. I was there Thursday night and spoke to Senator Jones. In a few minutes, I'll play for you that interview. But we need to look at the bigger picture of what is happening here with education. Let's start with something Ron DeSantis has repeatedly said.
We draw a very strong line in Florida. We want education. We do not want indoctrination.
That has been his justification for everything he does, whether it is blocking advanced placement classes in African American history, removing books from school libraries, or blocking the teaching of sexual orientation and gender studies throughout high school even. He wants education, he says, not indoctrination. Well, that line plays very well on the campaign trail, but is it true? Last week, the DeSantis administration announced it would allow teachers in Florida to use videos from a group called Prager University. Now, to be clear, Prager University is not an accredited university or college. It is a right-wing group led by conservative talk show host Dennis Prager. And Dennis Prager fully admits his goal is to push a right-wing agenda into the classroom. Here he is last month speaking to the group Moms for Liberty.
All I heard was, well, because you indoctrinate kids. And which is true. We bring doctrines to children. That's a very fair statement. I said, but what is the bad of our indoctrination?
So does this mean DeSantis is okay with some indoctrination, as long as it is the type of indoctrination he supports and agrees with? I want to play for you some of the videos created by PragerU that DeSantis says are appropriate to use in the classroom. The videos follow a brother and sister, Layla and Leo, who travel through time to meet historic figures. Here, the two children meet Christopher Columbus, who ask him about slavery.
Some things are clearly bad, no matter when they happen. But for other things, before you judge, you must ask yourself, what did the culture and society at the time treat as no big deal?
But wait, there's more. He continues his defense of slavery this way.
Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? I don't see the problem.
In another video, they meet Booker T. Washington.
We're really sorry that you have to deal with segregation and racism.
Your sympathy is nice, Layla, but know that you have nothing to be sorry about. You and Leo have done nothing wrong and have indeed been quite respectful. Future generations are never responsible for the sins of the past.
Okay.
They also have videos attacking climate change, state-run health care, and the Black Lives Matter movement. Some videos feature conservatives like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And here is Layla and Leo with Ronald Reagan as he explains the value of tax cuts, a topic I'm sure grade school children are hungry to hear about.
It's really very simple, Leo. We used a program called Reaganomics to make our economy strong. We cut taxes so that the government took less of people's hard-earned money away from them, and that led to more people getting jobs.
No other state in the country allows these videos to be used in their classrooms. And let's note another issue that took place last week. DeSantis removed the elected state attorney from the Orlando area, Monique Worrell, who was the only black female prosecutor in the state. So with all of this happening, when the state's education commissioner pulls out of a town hall in the state's largest black majority city, it only heightens the anger and mistrust towards DeSantis. After Thursday's event, I asked Jones why he believes Manny Diaz decided not to show up.
I think that the governor told the commissioner that this probably is not a good idea, that you do this. And so I'm sure the governor's office told them no.
But, I mean, you have a personal relationship with Manny. Are you disappointed in him?
Yeah, absolutely. Period. I would have hoped that he learned that these people love their children, that they love their community, and that they're concerned about the direction that the education system is going in the state of Florida.
And where is it going?
It's not going in the right direction. Not when you're 49 in the state with reading proficiency. Not when you have over 3,000 teacher vacancies. You can't be going in the right direction. So we're not going in the right direction right now.
Well, why do you think that is? Why do you think we're going in that direction?
Because the governor has focused his energy on culture wars and not on how we can get our children proficient, how we can move our children along in math, how we can ensure that our teachers are respected, and how we can ensure that the schools that are in communities are well funded and that they have the resources to be able to teach those children. That's why we have totally moved our attention away from that and given dollars to individuals and things that does not feed back into our public school system.
Well, the governor says he's just empowering parents, that he's trying to get parents more involved, more into their kids' education, and so that's why he's taken the steps he has. Is he empowering parents?
Which parents?
Is that the question?
Yes, it is. It is the question, because it's clearly not the parents who were sitting here, because if he respected parental rights, he would have made sure that Manny Diaz came here today and showed respect to these black parents in the largest black city in the state of Florida, and show some type of respect to give them an answer. Because if you're bold enough to put the policies in place, you should be bold enough to stand and face these people. And so that's hypocritical at its best, what the governor is doing. He's talking about parental rights, but he's not talking about all parents. You're not talking about the black parent. You're not talking about the LGBTQ parent. You're not talking about the parent of immigrant children. You're not talking about those parents. You're talking about those who agree with you, those in Moms for Liberty and all these other groups who are creating havoc in our school districts, in our school board meetings, in our community meetings. It's a one-sided conversation that's happening.
There were some panelists tonight who flat out said that this governor is racist. Do you believe this governor is racist?
I've never had a conversation with the governor to be able to say that he's a racist, but I would say that his policies are racist, what the governor is doing is racist, and if it walks like a duck, and if it talks like a duck, then it must be a duck. Maya Angelou always say, when people show you who they really are, believe them.
This comes at the same time the state attorney for Orange and Osceola County was removed. You may know the fact that it's the only African-American woman prosecutor in the state that he decided to remove. Do I see linkage here? Do you see this as a pattern of behavior directed at the African-American community?
If it walked like a duck and it talked like a duck, it must be a duck. And what we see what Governor DeSantis is doing, if you're going to agree with what he is saying, what he does, he removes you. He did it to Andrew Warren. He just did it to Monique Worrell. He continues to do these type of things to individuals, removing them from office if they don't agree with him. That's just his MO. That is not the respect of democracy, and it's authoritarianism at its best.
Have you seen some of these PragerU University videos that they now say are eligible to be used in classrooms?
Yep, and I would suggest every parent who disagrees with that should make sure that their child opts out of watching that video. And I'll say it again. No parent should allow their children to see that PragerU video. They should make it clear, I am writing a letter that I do not want my child watching that. I know if I had children in school, they wouldn't be watching it.
You know, the governor says that he's for education, not indoctrination. Do you believe that?
The governor is the king of indoctrination. That's exactly what they've been doing. When you get videos like PragerU, that's indoctrination. When you're trying to remove books from out of the classroom and you're trying to replace them with things that are not true, that's indoctrination. Everything the Republicans are trying to put on the Democrats, that what they're doing, they are the ones who are the indoctrinators.
Towards what end?
I don't know how far they'll go to do it, but I'll tell you.
But what's the purpose? What's the idea? What's the goal behind indoctrinating them? Towards what end?
Because I mean, there is a changing of America that is happening. America does not look like it used to. There's a browning of America that exists. And so there's a group of people who want America to go back to how it was, what it looked like. So they believe that if we can try to whitewash history and try to alter what history is, then therefore I can make individuals think and say things that are definitely not true. But here's the thing. Young people are not stupid. Young people know exactly what's happening. That Google is at their fingertip, and every resource that they can have is at their fingertip. So I don't think, if they think, they are going to bamboozle children into believing this crap that they are trying to feed them. I think they have another thing coming. And I think we're going to see more rejection of this type of idiotic ideology that they are pushing from our young people. That's who will be the ones to save what we're seeing right now. Individuals, they're not going to be politicians. Politicians are not going to be the ones to bring the change that we're seeing right now. It's just not going to happen. People are.
Since he became Education Secretary, I've invited Manny Diaz to be a guest on this show many times. That invitation remains. He is welcome to come here anytime he wants. Now, when we come back, I talk to the chairman of the Republican Party of Florida. Stay with us.